What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Bears Den Trading Podcast. This is MedMan, joined by my mentor, Grizzly.
How's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Had some pretty awesome trades this week with
it's been an amazing week.
Yeah, we had FOMC and then a nice Lotto Friday right after.
Some Quad-Witch on Friday.
Definitely interesting stuff went down. So yeah. We'll start off as usual by going over last week, right? Some of those trades that you took last week.
Yeah, I guess if I had to pick a stock of the week, it would definitely be DocU.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to say DocU definitely took off. I did not get on that train.
Well, it's just your typical gap fill trade, and instead of swing trading it, we just day traded it. How many days did we day trade it? 2 or 3 different days we took it for a day trade, and on Friday it finally filled that gap. I know Thursday we traded it, and on the daily chart, if you can look at DocU while you're listening to this, you can pull up the daily chart, and if you have the 9 EMA and the 20 EMA up, you can see on Thursday it made us move up in that gap, touched the 9 EMA. Then on Friday, once it got past that 9 EMA, it went on up to the 20 EMA and touched it. Just something to keep an eye on, how stocks like that tend to respect the 9 and 20 EMA on the daily charts.
Right on. Definitely wish I'd got on that one, but no FOMO allowed. So we'll move on to the next one that I did get into, which is mRNA.
Yeah, that's just mRNA broke some levels, some good resistance on the hourly. We had good volume, and when mRNA moves, it moves. I treat it as a scalp, so that type of trade lasts seconds to minutes. I was in and out pretty quickly, actually. The only thing I don't like about trading mRNA, as far as options go, the spreads. The spreads are not the best on mRNA, especially Friday when I was using same day expiration. The spreads were just they was right borderline. Like, do I want to trade or do I not? Fortunately, I took the trade, had a nice move, so I ended up closing out my trade, which I completely paper-handed by a long shot, but I ended up closing my trade out like $20-something per contract profit. If the spread, I was going back over that trade later that day, and if the spreads had been better, I should have been at 36 plus per contract. That don't seem like a lot, but when you have the position size that I did, that's quite a bit. But yeah, I think I traded mRNA twice last week as well. Them 2 stocks were just hot.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I actually got one contract on mRNA yesterday, and I think it was yesterday, right? The 18th? Yeah. But I ended up holding it and scared the living bejeebus out of myself with that little pullback it had. But the single contract did end up being worth $61 by the end of everything. But I do not recommend going through that experience for sure.
Yeah.
Risk management is definitely the smarter way to go.
For sure.
Definitely.
I can't stress the importance of risk management enough.
Also, did you see that move on Nvidia?
Yeah, that was an insane move. Actually, Brandon, the Nvidia came up on Brandon's TTM squeeze, I believe, on Friday pre-market when we was making our watch list. And for those of you who don't know, I've been making my watch list on Instagram Live as well. So if you want to come make your watch list with me live, check that out. But Brandon comes on after he gets done making his on his YouTube Live, and we were checking it out, and he said it was squeezing. And he was watching it above that 248.23 for calls. And I mean, when it ripped above that, it never looked back. It went all the way up to 265.6 for the high of day. For those of you that trade options, you know that is a huge gainer. If you'd had a big position size, that would have been a life-changing trade, you know?
Mhm.
And I see it. Honestly, now that I'm looking at this chart a little closer, if you pull up the 1 minute on the video for Friday, let me zoom in here where I can talk about this a little more in depth. If you look at that at 9:32, that 1 minute candle that comes back above that 248.23 area, then you the next two kind of pull back and retest that area again. You can see the kind of like a mini bull flag on the minute chart. It consolidates back down to that 9 EMA, which happens to be right at that 248.23 area, and that would have been a potential entry as well. Because a lot of times when we break them key levels, we always pull back and retest. I say always. I would say 8 times out of 10 we pull back and retest before we either fall through or continue on. I simply watch volume to help me confirm if we're going to continue on.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one I wish I could get in, but that one's a little too big for my britches just yet, you know? Those contracts
Well, I mean, if you'd
hefty.
on same day expiration, you know, it probably was small account friendly.
It was pretty close, actually. I think I did look at it, and it was, some of them were getting near to under 200.
Yeah.
Which is, it's getting
Yeah.
close to manageable for me, you know. But still, you know, they can really just go off is the thing, you know. Especially being a tech stock and silicone, you know, chips and all that stuff, like with the shortage, everything right now, there's
Yeah.
just potential everywhere for them to just rocket for any reason. So, man, might look at some spreads on Nvidia. That might actually work out. I wonder how they. So, all right, looking forward to next week. I know you like to start with SPX, so how's it looking, man?
As far as the technical goes, we're looking good.
Ooh.
I know we had Quad-Witching on Friday or whatever, but honestly, I see 3 bullish candles on the daily chart on SPX. And looking at QQQ, we broke, you know, we got above that 20 SMA on the daily chart. Let me pull up the weekly here to go off. We're still below it on the weekly. We could very well be headed back up toward it. But we still got to get past that 20 SMA on the weekly, which is at the 359.2 area. Let's fill that gap and let's see what happens after that. We're above the 9 EMA. And from my experience trading this and just trading stocks in general, once we break above the 9 EMA, like I was talking about on Docu earlier, you know, chances are we're going to find that 20 EMA. Just like when we broke below the 9 EMA, we found the 20 EMA shortly after. That's just how it tends to work from the back testing and just from experience in general.
Awesome. So going back to SPX and how you kind of start your watch lists with that. For those that don't know, why SPX instead of SPY? Is it like the larger numbers help, or what is it about SPX in particular?
Why I look at SPX rather than SPY?
Uh-huh.
You know, it's just this is how you do it. It's a S&P 500 index, right? SPY is just an ETF made up of stocks. If I'm trading SPY for like support and resistance trades, which you can see in my new YouTube video that will be out before this podcast will be out, actually. You simply find your support and resistance on SPX, and you base your trades off the SPX levels on SPY. That's just how it works.
Nice. Awesome.
I could probably talk about this for hours. There's a lot, you know, it's a lot to fit into.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We could make a podcast about that alone.
Yeah, for real.
Really excited for for that video to drop, by the way. I've heard the editing is pretty incredible on it, and it's going to be real fun to watch.
I mean, the guy I got doing it, he's all right.
Yeah. But yeah, it's gonna be a legit educational experience for those who watch it. Like, it's gonna really help solidify that base knowledge, you know?
Yeah. I think people's gonna really enjoy me doing the weekly watch list live on Sundays.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
I let people kind of, if they want me to, do some technical analysis on some stocks they're watching, help them find some potential entry points. Maybe they can't afford to trade all the stocks I'm trading, which I always try to keep it small account friendly.
Which you do a very good job of doing, by the way.
But maybe they want me to check out some smaller stocks, get them some potential entries, maybe help them manage the risk a little. Sounds like a win-win.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's going to be, also like such a compliment to like the daily watch list that Brandon does, I think, too. Like,
yeah.
Between the two live streams, like, you should never not know what to trade. Like,
yeah, I just, the way I see it, I just like to add the most value to anything I do. That's what's worked out for me throughout life. I'm a firm believer, if you give, what's the word? You can't be selfish. I feel like a lesson I learned early on in life, you got to be giving, caring, you got to share. Knowledge is not yours just to keep. It's your duty to, put it out there for everyone. People say, you make great money day trading, working, this and that. Why do you do this? Everything. It's just my passion. It's what I enjoy doing, it's a lot of hours, I put in a lot of hours and stuff, but it doesn't feel like work to me. It just feels like it's what I want to do every day,
Yeah. And, and I certainly, have been benefiting from it and also appreciate it. Like, doing a great job at the mentoring. And, like, you can, I think people can tell that like you're coming from that place through your videos too. Like, I think it's pretty neat to watch, Yeah.
The only reason I clarified on that, a lot of people ask me, like, why do you do this when you make, they legit ask me the question, why do you do this when you make this X amount of money? It's what I like to do. I was going to ask you, MedMan, what have you thought about the March mentorship so far, now that we've begun?
Oh, it's God, it's just like, it's a wake-up call is really what it is. It's just, and I've been through a one-on-one with you and one of Brandon's mentorships before, and it never gets old. You could take this mentorship 5 times and still come out with new knowledge. Come out with new knowledge every time.
Yeah, I don't know when the next one will be, though. I've had at least 10 people ask me this week about when the next one will be. We talked about taking a little break from them because, we've been going nonstop for the last year. But maybe to answer that question, maybe we'll do one in May, do like a May mentorship. May or June, we'll see. Just keep, you'll just keep
the ear to the ground.
It'll be in my channel.
Keep those ears to the ground. Listen to the ebbs and flows of this podcast and Team Bull in general, and you'll know everything that's about to happen.
I had a question for our audience, the listeners. I would love to hear about the stuff you've been investing in long term. Maybe some of your holdings, crypto, long-term stocks, dividend stocks. And I would love to hear about some of your income sources and possibly even get some of you on to the podcast to talk about them. So if that's something you're interested in, reach out to me. We'll talk about it. See if we can't come up with some sort of arrangement.
I would absolutely be delighted to talk to some of the traders and also entrepreneurs that are hanging around in the Team Bull and stuff like that, for sure. Yeah. But you did actually remind me of something that I wanted to ask you about, because it's been in the news and on my mind Crypto, man, what is going on?
Man, I've not been adding a whole lot lately because I've got quite the position already in crypto. But everything's on discount right now, in my opinion. I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's not going to dip anymore. It could very well dip, but this is money I can live without, and I don't expect to touch it for years to come. But stuff like SOL, AVAX, even like VET, Ethereum, stuff like that. It's all good buys right now. I don't think you can go wrong, even with Bitcoin. Like, I'm not saying it's not going to, I don't know what'll happen. I can only invest given what the past has shown me, So I just continue to invest like the world's going to go on. I can't predict what's going to happen, so I don't try to. I just invest like you should. And so far, so good,
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, there's a lot of progress on the horizon for crypto too, because you've got things like Ethereum's what was once an upgrade now has become a merger between Ethereum and Ethereum 2. So it's I mean, it could even end up being even more profitable than Ethereum 2 would have been on its own, I think now, or at least that's the notion I get from what I've read so far.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, people don't realize how we're in the new. Crypto is still new. I know it don't seem like it, but when our kids or grandkids look back on it, they're like, "You was in that when it first begun." People don't see how much opportunity we have right now. We look back on people from other, the older generation and stuff, and like, wow, they had so much opportunity they missed out on. The same thing's happening with us. We just got to open our eyes and find it.
Yeah, absolutely.
The worst mistake you can make in this world is being closed-minded, in my opinion.
For sure, and I think one of your most pushed points is like reading. Just read stuff and you'll cure that. Like, just read, man.
If you can get to the point where you enjoy reading, where it's not a chore to you, where you can actually genuinely enjoy reading, then that's when you really take it in. You know what I mean? Because I remember when I've always liked to read, but I didn't like to read so much as the books I read now. I like to read like sort of the same books you enjoy reading. You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, now I only read books that's gonna improve my life, make me money, more or less.
Just to clarify, that it's the books with the guy with the long hair in the wind and the open shirt, that kind of,
Not hardly that kind of.
The romance novels, right? No, I'm just kidding. It truly.
And if you're not if you don't like physically reading, listen to some audiobooks. Nothing wrong with that. I don't believe. There's different styles of learners. YouTube videos works better for some. There's plenty of educational YouTube videos. Most slept on thing that I've seen is free education. Like, people do not take advantage of it. YouTube, there's so much free content.
And like anything you want to do, let alone like business and stuff like that. Like, it's crazy. And I realize, like, I always have my phone on me and stuff, and I'm always looking at like different news apps and whatever else. I mean, I realize I must read a few books a day, actually. And I kind of felt bad for a while about not reading books, like, which obviously I am now. But yeah, this book is awesome, by the way. The One Thing. But yeah, I realized that I actually read quite a bit more than I give myself credit for. And there's a lot of ways you can find stuff on your phone like that too, really easily. Like, if you digest through your phone like that, you always have your phone in your hand, like I kind of do. There's always something to read on there for whatever you want to learn, let alone the market.
Yeah, I agree with that. What earnings do we got to look forward to next week, MedMan? I know one is Neo. I know that one.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, it's kind of yeah. I've had a bunch of people DM me about it, asking me what I thought, and I really don't know. Them earnings can go either way really quickly, and sometimes they just stay flat, and you lose. You're going to lose regardless, you know. So keep in
Yeah.
mind, it's like playing the lottery. Whenever you play earning trades.
Yeah, honestly, I really don't know what to think about Neo right now either, because like the overall car market is pretty rough right now. But you know, a lot of people are bullish on EV because EV. Wow, a lot of people are bullish on EV because of the state of gasoline. But also, nickel has gone up drastically, and you need nickel for batteries. So, like, where do we it's just a tough one right now, you know. There's so many factors on this one.
Yeah, and Neo has like I'm looking at the chart. Neo since November of last year, it was at let's see, in November it was $44. This month it hit $13 at one point. So, you know, if we get bad earnings, I don't know where it's going. It
Yeah, I
doesn't
mean,
have much further to go. Like
there's not much more to do.
yeah.
But
Let's see what
maybe
it did
it'll
last earnings.
become a penny stock or something.
Let's see last earnings. I'm trying to see what happened. Oh yeah, it sold off. Well, yeah, sold off last earnings. Check the earnings before that. Sold off the earnings before that. Not much, not huge moves. Same thing. The last three earnings have been made a move towards the downside. If that's any judge of what's going to happen.
So on Monday, we've got a few of note on Monday, a couple of note at least. We've got Nike. We've got Eurogen Pharma. Let's see, are there any others on Monday? Nothing in particular. And then on Tuesday, we've got one of my favorites, you know, Adobe. I use their stuff like every single day. A lot of people, I've heard people in the chat or in the Discord like trading Carnival as well. So Carnival Cruise Lines is coming up on Tuesday as well. I haven't actually. I want to look into one of these that I haven't really heard of before, called PaySign. But Wednesday, let's see. EVgo is one of note. Winnebago actually too, and I can see that. I can see that kind of travel becoming something more pretty soon here. And then on Thursday we have Neo, of course. And yeah, I think that's about it. If you're interested in food, there's Darden. You really love Olive Garden, but yeah. Any of those grab your interest?
Yeah, I like Adobe. I guess Adobe and Neo probably be the top. I'm not saying I'm going to play them, and if I do play earnings, if I do play earnings, you already know I only use profits from that day that I made day trading. So we'll see. You know, it just depends. A lot of different things.
Actually, we've got one on Wednesday that I'm pretty interested in. It's something I've discovered since I've been in Georgia, and that is Ollie's. Good stuff, cheap. I didn't realize they were a stock. Gotta say, I'm pretty bullish on Ollie's. If I'm being really honest, like it is pretty cheap.
If you know, I don't know. I might play one. Just like I said, I'll be playing with my profits, and I'll be ready to lose it all.
I'm always looking at Adobe for something, and you really got to watch them, because as somebody who does editing and photography and video and all that stuff, I use almost every single product they make. But they come out with products without even like telling it to their subscribers, you know, like they have like a full-on YouTube thumbnail app. I'm not even sure how long it's been out, but I didn't even know that thing existed. So sometimes you actually you got to kind of watch Adobe for random groundbreaking stuff. They're kind of a sleeper sometimes.
Yeah. Have you ever actively day traded Adobe? It moves weird. Like the price action is strange. Like it's hard for me to day trade it the way it moves. Don't get me wrong, I've made quite a bit of money day trading it, but like it'll move, then it'll just sit there for a solid minute and not move at all. Then it'll just jump. It's
Yeah,
a very strange stock to day trade.
Is there like a reason for that? Like at all? Like is it just like
something to do with volume? I guess price action. I don't know.
Maybe it's like a correlation between the particular price it's at and the volume that it gets or something. But it's pretty erratic sometimes. New did some work last week too.
Yeah, and you?
Yeah.
I'm up to quite a few shares on that. I haven't been selling any calls on NU just because I kind of don't want to lose it if I have to sell it.
Yeah, they're actually.
I want to hold it for. I'd like to see what it is about this time next year. See where we're at on it. I did add some HUT this week to my long term. I added some SoFi, some PLTR, a little more PLTR. I caught it in a little dip, which on Friday, all my stuff that I've been adding through these dips was up nicely, which I added most of my long-term stocks during this biggest dip we had recently. So, I had a great buy-in. Really happy with my average.
I see a lot of NU on this 4 hour touching the same resistance over and over again, and like I kind of get the sense that it might go on sale a little next week, and if it does, I'll probably start my position with shares.
Yeah.
I mean, I might start to work toward covered calls at some point with that too, because that's definitely something that I've really wanted to get started on. And new is almost the perfect one for somebody who wants to get started in covered calls.
I've been selling covered calls on HUT. I'll tell you something else I've been selling covered calls on. I'm probably going to get a lot of criticism for talking about this one, but CEI, CEI. Yeah, the small stock, penny stock that was hopped up. Everyone else was trying to become rich off of it. I bought a bunch when it was like 60-something, 70 cents.
Wow.
And I've been just selling covered calls. And they've been it's really cheap stock. And the covered calls I've been selling, they've been, I think, over $10. Compared to you can get 100 shares for under $100.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that like tomorrow.
You're already getting over a 10% return weekly off. Roughly a 10% return.
I'll have to do it on.
It's over. I don't know the exact math, but I've been getting over a 10% return just selling covered calls on my shares. I can't complain.
That's amazing. Like, and it's a level 2 is kind of even awesome at the moment. Like, and it's like they have like somebody's waiting to buy a bunch right there. Well, I guess it's not really a bunch. Oh
yeah, the level 2 penny stocks, they go crazy.
Yeah, they do. I actually have made money off of CEI. I followed Dumpster one day and bought some shares, and that thing just went bananas. Absolutely off the chain. And it was like holding a contract in something, but it was just a bunch of shares. I probably will start rolling that one for some covered calls. Get my Warren Buffett on.
Them penny stocks have been hot, huh? Like
Dumpster's on fire like all the time.
Yeah, but, like the INDO, some of the other stocks he's been trading. Massive returns. And people keep asking me where they can learn about Dumpster stuff. I want to answer that really quick because I do get that question often.
Oh yeah.
Because Dumpster, when he's trading them penny stocks, he's really busy. He alerts his what he's getting in, but he really watches them. And he has a section in the Team Bull Academy, doesn't he, MedMan? Have you watched it?
Yeah, I think he does actually. He has his own, at least one video in there. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
So he talks about some stuff there if you want to check that out. And if you're looking for that Team Bull Academy, it's in my link. You can go to my website, grizzlytrades.com. You'll see it right below where you join the Team Bull Discord, the Team Bull Trading Academy. It's all pre-recorded. It even has a course that I teach in it. So if that's something you want to check out, go ahead and grab that.
Yeah, and also Grizzly's YouTube channel is like just a treasure trove of educational material. I just go on there sometimes and just look at the videos, and sometimes I'll just like watch an old one just to see what it was about.
My end game with the YouTube is just I want to create that YouTube where people can go on there in one place and just learn how to trade, free. That's that's my end goal. It's going to be a while before we're completely there, but this new video I got coming out, it's going to teach you one of the simplest trading strategies out there, pretty much A to Z on how to trade that, and it gives you some risk management with it. So, trying to add as much value as possible again.
Yeah, I got to watch it like, 3 or 4 times now.
Yeah.
Learn something new every time, of course, It's the little things,
Mm-hmm.
But it's also like, it's not like you just learn like a new definition about something when you watch these videos over and over. You learn a new like perspective or sentiment too. You start to understand the mindset more as you watch it more.
Yeah, and what people don't realize, when I was learning how to trade, I'd watch videos that were too advanced for me at that time. But once I, improve, learn more, I'd come back and I'd rewatch them, and they made sense once I, had a better foundation to learn off of. That's just something to keep in mind.
Oh yeah, and that's one of the huge reasons the mentorships are so worth it, because you will always have access to those class recordings, or in general just class recordings through them. It's just so valuable. But also your YouTube's like a freaking library. So all right, well, that wraps this episode up, folks. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also check out Grizzly's YouTube at Grizzly Trades. Also accessible at www.grizzlytrades.com. We've got links to Grizzly's YouTube, more education, mentorships, one-on-ones, and a whole lot more. So please go check that out. Remember, this podcast is not financial advice, but education, so please take notes and practice proper risk management. Have a good one.